Some people travel to check places off a list, but the best way to understand a city is simply to walk for a while. This is Riga. There are a few things that shape how you experience a city, like walkability, how it feels to move through the streets, street life, the rhythm of everyday life, and places to pause where the city lets you breathe for a while. Those things together, that's the Travel Without Chaos Index. 3 dimensions, each one scored out of 5. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how Riga scores. Riga sits on the Daugava, a wide river that cuts through the city. The old town is the obvious entry point. It's compact, cobblestone and easy to walk. But Riga is a bigger city than it first feels, and stopping inside the old town means missing much of what makes it interesting. And as you start walking, you recognize different parts of the city, not by name, but by how they feel. Riga, the old town, stone streets, spires, a cathedral, a town hall square. Compact and walkable. This is where most visitors start and stop. The Art Nouveau district around Alberta Iela, a different part of the city. Wider streets, a quieter scale, less visited but more rewarding. The streets around Terbatas Iela, this is where Riga has its own everyday rhythm. Cafes, people moving without obvious destination. If you start with these, Riga is easy to get to know. Riga is walkable, more walkable than it might first suggest from a map. The old town is easy, compact enough to read quickly, varied enough to keep you walking longer than you planned, and the cobblestones remind you where you are with every step. Outside the old town, the city opens into a different scale. Wider streets, taller buildings, and longer stretches. It's still manageable on foot, but the rhythm changes. But the traffic interrupts. Heavy roads cut through the urban fabric in places. You wait, the cars pass, and then you re-enter. And that's why the parks carry weight here. The city needs them to breathe between its heaviest streets. Alberta Iela and the Art Nouveau district is a different kind of walkability. The buildings pulling you close and you find yourself staying near the walls, looking up more than forward. Here are a few places worth knowing for walking. Walk from the old town out into the Art Nouveau district. You move through the city's different layers on the way and feel it change character as you go. Cross from the old town over Stonebridge to the National Library. The walks takes you out of the center and over the river to a different side of the city. And get lost in Riga, the old town itself, compact and textured, easy to get turned around in, and just as easy to find your way back. Riga has street life, and it isn't just one thing. The parks, the cafe tables, the crowds and everyday life moving through the old town. And the strongest of all, the market. You can see the street life in the parks. People sitting, walking slowly, chatting, not going anywhere in particular. It's not decorative, it's functional in the best way. And the streets around Tallinn carry their own energy. Cafes with outdoor seating, people crossing without urgency. A sense that the city is not only being visited, but also lived in, both things at once. But the strongest impression is the central market. It's large. One of the largest covered markets in Europe, spread across former Zeppelin hangars by the train station. The scale alone takes a moment to register. And then the people. It's always busy, whatever time you arrive. And if you're anything like me, you end up coming back to the market, not because you need anything, but because it's where the city feels most itself. Here are a few places worth knowing for street life. Verman Garden, a place where a lot of the city's social life happens without much of an agenda. Around the Freedom Monument, the movement belongs to the city as much as to its visitors. And the Central Market, an experience in itself and not one to miss. The parks in Riga are generous, well kept, well used, and positioned exactly where the city needs to breathe, between the heavier roads and in the gaps between the districts. And you have all the cafe tables. This is where the city moves at its own pace. It's a different kind of pause. You sit still while the city moves around you. A good way to let Riga arrive rather than chasing it. And then there's the river. Cross the bridge and walk the promenade on the other bank. It's easy to miss if you stay in the old town. More air. You feel it the moment you reach the other side. The whole of the old town suddenly in front of you, framed by the river and the sky. Here are a few places worth knowing, for places to pause. Bus stay calm park along the city canal, water, benches, a pace that belongs to the city's own rhythm. A cafe table on Tallinn where you sit still and let Riga come to you. And the Daugava promenade on the western bank between Vansjö Bridge and the Stone Bridge. This is where the city shows you a different version of itself. So, what's the score for Riga on the Travel Without Chaos Index? For walkability, 4 out of 5. The old town is compact and it's very easy to move through. The Art Nouveau district with Alberta Jela rewards the slower walker. Then you have the streets between them. They are manageable, though the traffic interrupts the flow in places. And street life, 4 out of 5. It's substantial. The parks hold real everyday life. And the central market is the city at its most alive. It's a place you'd come back to just to walk through it again. And for places to pause, 4 out of 5. Here the parks are essential. but also a cafe table on one of those quieter streets. It gives you the city at its own pace. Riga is a city of layers. It's beautiful, grand, and it becomes even more interesting once you walk beyond the obvious streets. Have you been here, or do you live here? I'd love to hear.